everybody. We will call the meeting of the Bruce Township Zoning Board of Appeals to order. We'll take roll call. Dana, please.
Sure. Don Hook. Jared Vinson.
Here.
Kirk Moss.
Here.
Tom Coffin.
Absent.
Jenny Teller. Here. Roy Zono.
Here.
And Rick Barrett.
Here.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Can I hear a motion on that?
I move to accept the agenda.
Second.
I'll second.
Motion by Jenny Teller, second by Rick Barrett. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda has been approved. And approval of the previous minutes of July 22nd, 2024. These are kind of hot off the press. You got a chance to flip them over. Do I have a motion on the minutes? Motion should come from one of us. Who was that? Dennis, that be?
That's what I was thinking.
I move to accept the minutes as presented from November 20, or from, let's see, when was that? July 22nd, 24.
Motion by Jenny Teller, is there a second? I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None. All opposed? None, I hear. Okay. Any unfinished business that any board member would like to bring up? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 7, under new business. This is the request for variance from Mr. Tim Gosdor for side yard setbacks, 2 of his lot lines, to enable him to install a swimming pool in his rear yard, their rear yard, I should say. Prior to doing that, what we'll do is we'll open up the public hearing at 6:05. Meeting was called to order at 6:02, by the way, Dana. It's about 6:05, it might be 6:06, 6:04. Call the public hearing to order at 6:04 and ask if there are any buddy from the audience who would like to speak on this issue. Perhaps the applicant would like to be first. And would you please go to the lectern there and give us your name and address for the record, please, and then state your reason for your requests.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tim Gosdor. I live at 12279 Mentz Drive, Lot 14 of Whispering Pines subdivision. So I'm here today to request relief from the 15-foot setback from property line to pool's edge, with my hardship being an irregular shaped lot. So my lot, my backyard is a triangle. I have 3 sides. So if you look at my drawing and you put the 15-foot setback on each side, it eliminates about 2/3 of my backyard. To be able to enjoy what others in my subdivision are able to do is have an entertainment space, put in a pool. So the drawing, we have a structure on the drawing, but really today, the setback that is built is 8 feet 11 inches. That's the current design that you're looking at in the drawing for the 15-foot ordinance that we currently have today. We did reduce the pool size from 32 feet down to 28 feet to gain 4 feet total, 2 on each side as a starting point. So we're trying to not encroach too far on the variance, but also kind of work and see what we can put in and what we can get approved. Now in Macomb County, you may probably are aware that 15 feet is much greater than surrounding cities like Washington, Chesterfield, Shelby Township. So the design through custom in-ground pools and landscape is, he drew this up, he came in, he went to the building department, saw the bigger setback, and then we had to come to a stop because we knew that we had a situation to ask for relief before we could proceed with additional drawings.
Is that the sum of your request?
Summation, I'm asking for relief today to put in a pool in the backyard with a setback of 8 feet 11 inches minimum to be able to move forward with the project.
Okay. Thank you. If you're through with your comments now, we can open the floor. The floor is open for any other people who would like to speak on the issue during the public hearing. Just ask that you come forward and give your name and address, please. If no one else wants to speak,
Good evening. My name is John Lovell. I live at 70667 Manor Court, Unit 12 of the same subdivision. So we share a rear lot line with the proposed swimming pool property. Our lot just happens to be poorly graded. We tend to retain a lot of water all throughout the year. So we had concerns with converting, a sizable portion of the adjacent property to impermeable turf, because we're already collecting a lot of runoff. We had Mike Philbrook out today, and he looked at the situation and kind of quickly assessed, along with our HOA president, Kathy Wilhelm. He looked at it and assessed that the catch basin has some capacity to be reduced, knock out the insert, drop the rim and the lid, and he thinks that will help with our ponding. And as of with that would mitigate our concerns completely. Carmen, you're saying something about the setback?
My issue was, you're asking for a minimum of 8 feet, so you could want a bigger variance, or you're asking for a maximum of 8 feet 11 inches?
his request, you can speak freely. I mean, we're all neighbors here.
We never had a conversation about
Yeah,
this.
okay.
We just got a letter, like, we went on a cruise, so we just found out about the property line
Okay.
issue. So it would have been nice to sit down and just say, what exactly are you planning, and
Let me respond with what I know about that. If I don't get it quite right, you can help me out. The request is, rather than have a 15-foot setback from the lot line, to be 8 foot 11 inches from each property line, which one is your line as
I
well.
understand, yes, and we want them to have their pool, let's make no
Okay,
mistake.
all right.
We want to be good neighbors, we want them to have their pool. When he just said he wanted an 8-foot variance minimum, I'm just curious if there's,
The variance is actually 6 feet and 1 inch. Okay? The difference between 15 feet and
yes,
11.
yes, we can, yeah.
Okay. So that's the variance being requested now. I don't know if I answered your question.
Is it-
Be farther than that.
Is it going to be installed as
closer.
planned, or is it going to get bigger? That's what she's asking.
We moved over to,
No.
Okay.
It'll come out, it has to be at least 8 feet 11 inches from the property line.
that's
It
what
can't
we
encroach
were,
any further.
that's what I was asking,
Yeah.
when you said
And they'll come out
minimum.
and measure, during construction.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It's a very specific easement or request for variance.
Okay.
Mr. Lovell, anything else?
Oh, I think when we discussed with Mike earlier in HOA, it was talked about the HOA would absorb the cost of lowering the rim of the catch basin lid. However, they were also left it open that perhaps the initial site grading that you're going to have on the pool could help feather into the catch basin, but there are no specifics on that. I imagine, I emailed Elam this afternoon, and Mike followed up with Carmen and I. He's going to have his contact give a price for what he thinks the lowering the catch basin's going to cost. So no, aside from that, I have no
So
other.
the HOA will cover that cost, is that what you're saying?
That's what we're under the impression, that the storm sewer issues are the homeowners association's responsibilities and not our responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah, that's normal.
Then we have absolutely no concerns.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak from the floor for any public hearing? We may have questions. Yes,
We
please,
live-
please come forward and give your name and address, please.
I'm Kathy Wilhelm, 70649 Manor Court, Lot 13, so I'm in between the two. We also share the same backyard line as their sort of sideline, and we have no issues with what they propose for their backyard, just so it's on the record.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Any other comments from the floor? Okay, with that, I will close the public hearing and ask the board members for comments and/or questions that anyone might have. 612, thanks.
Ms. Wilhelm, you verify that you are the president of the HOA?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you make a note of that? She gave approval from, as representative of the HOA, that they're in alignment with this?
Our whole homeowners association has not gone over these plans, though. My husband and I are giving the okay,
I see.
but
Okay.
Come forward, please, Mr. Gosler. We'll have a conversation.
Thank you. No, just to piggyback on what Kathy said, the property management company, Casabella, did approve through the email I presented to you, the 8'11" request from property line to pool's edge. From an HOA standpoint, our board members didn't sit down and vote because we follow through the HOA township ordinances. So the bylaws state we can put a pool in as long as we follow the township ordinances. So if relief is granted, then there's no issue within the bylaws themselves to be able to move forward.
And of course, when you do get the permit for the pool, you have to follow all the township's ordinances, building requirements,
Correct.
et cetera, or you won't get the permit, basically. And then obviously there'll be inspections that you have done so once your contractor has done so, once the pool is installed.
Absolutely. A lot of permits, a lot of processing, landscape drawings. Yeah, that's all over in the construction department that we would follow that process.
Did I read I did read in your notes that you have to relocate your water well?
That is correct. So if this was approved, the well would move about 7 feet closer to my driveway to allow for the space because the well's sitting right basically where the pool's edge would be.
All right. Any other questions from any board member?
I did research. I tried to find all the ones that he stated. I could only dig in and find McCombs, and McCombs is 7.5 feet, right? So I just wanted to verify that what Tim was saying was, that the others, and where they were at, right? I think you stated they were less than 15, but.
They're around 7 feet. Yeah, I don't have the specifics because the original design,
I couldn't find any others. My only other concern was what the neighbors were gonna think, with that, and, you did good, bringing both sides, and, there's no concerns, so I don't have any concerns.
I have one comment with respect to what other communities require and accept. It really doesn't matter to this particular board what other communities do. We're here to hear your request for variance from our ordinance. And so while it's for information, that's good, but it has no bearing on whatever decision this board makes. So
understood.
I just had to throw that out there. Okay, any other questions or comments from the board?
In terms of the layout, it seems maybe a long way across your pie shape. Did you guys look at other layouts of how the pool would be situated on the property to maybe alleviate some of the variance that's being requested?
The developer has. We tried to get it to be the kidney shape, to come in, to get away from the sides a little bit. the lot's not big enough really to turn it longwise to go back because it pinches to a point towards the back.
Okay.
We can definitely look, but he felt this was really squeezing it in the first place. I mean, it is a small yard.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Okay, let me just go over what we have to, we, the ZBA, has to consider when we consider a variance request. I'm going to read a lot of this because I don't have it all committed to memory. One, that the strict enforcement of the zoning ordinance would cause practical difficulty if you don't have your glasses on. And deprive the owner of rights enjoyed by other property owners owning property in the same zoning district. The condition and circumstances are unique to the subject property and are not similarly applicable to other properties in the same zoning district. 3, the conditions and circumstances unique to the property were not created by the owner or his predecessor in title. Requested variance will not confer special privileges that are denied to other properties situated in the same zoning district. And 5th, the requested variance will not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the township zoning ordinance. Those are the things that we have to consider when we take action on a request for variance. With that said, I would entertain a motion on this request.
Well, I'd like to move to approve this application and request for a variance, making a 6-foot 1-inch allowance into the noted setbacks for this pool, because what he said.
Dana, you'll get that in.
I can go through it again and reiterate my reasoning, but it's really all in those five requests, or those 5 statements there. This is a special situation. Obviously, they did not set the lot up this way. It has been this way, so that certainly meets one of the requirements. The strict enforcement of the zoning ordinance would cause them practical difficulty. Trying to put in an in-ground swimming pool, sometimes if you make it too small, it's just not ever going to be right. So I really feel that they should be able to enjoy the rights enjoyed by other property owners there owning in-ground pools. The conditions and circumstances are unique, as I mentioned, to this property being this pie shape. The conditions and circumstances are unique to the property. They were not created by the owner or the previous owner. The requested variance will not confer any special privileges that would be denied other properties similarly situated and in the same zoning district. And it will not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the township zoning ordinance.
Okay, we have a motion by Jenny Teller. Is there support for the motion?
I'll second.
Second, was that Roy or Jared? Roy. Seconded by Mr. Zono. Okay, roll call vote, Dina?
McBarrett?
Yes.
Zolno?
Yes.
Teller?
Yes.
Vincent?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes. You have received your variance, Mr. Osdorf.
Thank you.
Hopefully, the project will go well next spring, I presume, sometime
Next summer.
next summer.
Mm.
That catch basin will be addressed to manage your drainage situation. Okay, moving along, number 8, well, comments from the floor. I guess we've had a few. Are there any other comments from the floor?
I won't even see the pool swap.
Moving along, then.
You're an incoming member of the HOA, so you have.
Yes, you will.
Are there, number 9, are there any communications that anyone has received that they'd like to bring up now, or you want to keep them secret? Anybody have anything? Okay.
I have just one thing about our ZBA class. I apologize for the amount of time that it's taking. I've put everything in place. It's just dependent on now the invoice being paid to Michigan State. But as long as everybody is still willing to take it, it should be happening very soon. I think it's a great thing for us to have, and I'm anxious to see it. I'm gonna take it also, so as soon as it's available, I'll reach out. But I have submitted all of our, and I appreciate everyone, doing their part to get it going, so bear with me, bear with
There,
the process.
thanks, Dana. There is one thing that it's not a communication, but I wanted to bring up, I should have mentioned earlier, that we did receive a letter from Joseph Kinder, who's also a neighbor, of 12267 Mentz Drive, that he has no issues with the installation of this pool on their property. So just get that in the record, please. All right, with that said, we're down to adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion. At 6:22.
Okay, motion by Vincent, 6:22 to, seconded by Rick Barrett. All in favor? We don't need roll call on that, do we? No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with the project.
Just in case, anticipate anything for December, but it would be 2 days before Christmas, just so that everybody knows, kind of like, think about that. I mean, it's not anything super serious, we can get in here and get something done, maybe for Christmas.
Do they have enough, they don't even have enough.
I do not have an application.